welcome back to the HCS EU Pro League Full Finals for 2016. We're well into the relegation battle as they've been going on this morning and this afternoon. We've had 2 matches already, 3 to go, and we'll find out next which team enters the Pro League for the first time ever in any region, as well as we head into our winner-winner game between Bittersweet and Ego. We've also been joined by Andy on the desk with myself and Harry. Welcome back, Andy. Was that the fastest best of 7 you've ever commentated on?
I was going to say, as a caster, and I should say this for anyone involved in the competition, right? As a caster, as a player, as a coach, when you're sitting down for a best of 7, you're getting ready for a long series, right? You're in it for the long haul. So for that series to have ended so fast, I was kind of thinking to myself on Truth CTF, I'm like, I think that is 4 games, yes, and that was a very fast 3-0, and yeah, it was
Did you have to check? You were like, hang on, is it 3-0 or 4-0 already?
I did. But I think that they left no doubt, about who should have won that series. And Bittersweet certainly looking good, momentum-wise, heading into this match.
Yeah, exactly, and that does count for something, Harry, doesn't it? Momentum. We talked about it in Halo. It's very important during the matches, very important during maps.
Yep.
How important is it during series, from series to series? Can they kind of take the confidence that they've just had of a 4-0 whitewash very straightforward and then bring that into the next series?
They definitely can. They've also played Ego before, if I remember rightly, in the
open circuit.
In the open circuit, yeah. And I think, if I remember, it's 4-1.
It was 4-1.
But it's going to be completely different now. Like, I don't see it being 4-1 again. But you saw Bittersweet play. They made barely any mistakes against a pro team. But if you thought anyone was going to get 4-0, you thought Prophecy would as a Pro League team. But for them to just come from AM and then just beat a pro team just like that 4-0 is unbelievable.
Yep.
Like, who would have thought 2 AM teams straight away into the winners bracket?
Yeah, I don't think anyone did. I spoke to Rich before this, and he was like, no, Bittersweet have definitely got a chance, but it's only a chance. The Pro League team's a season. They've been there for 2 seasons already. They know what they do. And here we are. We're guaranteed one going through. We'll get to predictions in a minute, but key players, from what you've seen so far, I know you picked out Zer before. He didn't really light up the stage in the first game, but do you expect more from him?
Well, to be honest, I know it doesn't show so much in the stats. Like, there was a couple of games where he slayed really well, but it's not really about slaying. It's about how pumped he gets his team. You could see it in a few games. I think when it was 3-1, I think that's when he realised and thought, right, this is our opportunity. We need to do this now. If you want to get through the winners bracket quick, we need to do it now. And you saw an almost reverse sweep from 3-1 to 4-3. Yeah. But yeah, like I said, with some people, as you always know, stats is not always the key. But Zer did put some slaying on the board now and then.
What are you talking about, Harry? Stats don't lie.
Okay, not all the time. But no, it's just one of those things.
I'm trying to rib him about old games that he used to have where he didn't have a really big game, and then used to give him grief over it. But never mind. In terms, Andy, of Warlord, is the man that stands out from game 2. I mean, it's hard when you have a 4-0 to kind of go, well, that person played really well. But the last 2 in particular, the CTF, some fantastic support work, and then the last flag cap as well. He's playing out of his skin. Yeah,
I love what we're seeing from Warlord, and the key is, especially on that CTF, is he was such an anchor for his team. I mean, that is the definition of kind of. First of all, he's such an all-around player, but such a support player too. It felt like in that one stretch, I'm just lucky we were on his point of view, right? It was a bit of luck on my part, just having to choose. Well, go over to Warlord.
Didn't you apologise for staying on him for the whole game? But it was like a 4-minute game. It didn't matter too much.
Yeah, it was like, oh, here we're going to go check out what Warlord's about to do. Little did we know he goes on a killing frenzy and mops up. But I mean, the angles, right? It constantly, the awareness, the knowledge, knowing exactly where to turn, right? To drop down on a player, to play so conservatively, pushing on a player in your base from bottom middle. Don't even enter the doorway, right?
But he was picking off players. It was almost like the commentary was synced to his play, wasn't it? Because there were players you thought, oh, actually he could get that flag back right now, but no, Warlord's in exactly the right place to pick off a player who might have just jumped through and picked up the flag.
Yeah, and I love at the end, he's just, you know what, I'm going to end this myself. He has camo fuel rod on the 3rd flag run.
Yeah.
Time for me to be the star.
Traditionally, the camo fuel rod player, if you have camo or fuel rod, you are not going to run the flag.
But he had both twice, I think, in that one game. That was unbelievable.
So, I mean,
it shows how great
he's
support
like,
his
you know
teammates
what, I'm going to go ahead and do this myself. Granted, he was able to ground pound the flag in, so his team was certainly slaying around him as he was doing that. Got to give credit to the whole squad.
I think it's weird because I would have thought his last infused lineup he would be more confident with. Because on paper, you look at his team, you think, it's just a bunch of randoms maybe just put together and they should do well, maybe make it Pro League. But they gel so well. It's unbelievable. You would never expect it.
Just a bunch of randoms just thrown together, no problem at all. Yep. I too want to. We're going to break off from the insults from Harry right now. I just want to give you a quick update as well. Go to halo.gg right now. Do it right now. Code at the bottom of the screen and grab your rec pack. The gold pack is ready to be claimed. Go do it.
Did you get yours earlier? Oh, no, it was Wonder Boy who was going to his, wasn't it?
Yes, it was, yeah.
Harry
a confusion of the Harrys.
Yes,
Yeah.
easily done, easily done. As we head into this match, we're going to talk predictions in a moment, but where is the key for you between these two teams? Because you mentioned they've played each other in the open, so this is a completely different matchup right now. They're both thinking, we won our opening games against Pro League teams, we need to win 4 maps, and we're in the Pro League next. That makes this totally different, doesn't it?
Yeah, completely. Like with Ego, you could see, okay, they were definitely better than BWS due to the fact that how well they played. But I think in this matchup, due to the pure aggression of Bittersweet and how well coordinated they were and how they don't hesitate, you probably remember when I mentioned with Ego versus BWS, they can grab kills or whatever, but they don't capitalise on the situation. They hesitate a little bit too much. But I think in this matchup, I'm hoping Ego'd, correct their mistakes, but is it too late? I'm not sure, but, I'm just hoping it'll be good. I think it will be a really close series.
Yeah, that's a good point, Andy, isn't it? Mistakes. They'll know what they did wrong in that first game against them. Yep. So, presumably they'll have learnt. We know they've ground all the way through to this one. They want this really badly. Is that enough to take them over the edge? Of maybe Bittersweet got a little bit too much quality for them? Yeah,
I think if you're Ego'd, I think they have to feel confident about their result, but their road certainly was not an easy one, right? I mean, the squeezing it out in that seven-game series. I think they do need to be wary of Bittersweet's momentum, the speed at which they're playing, and I think it'll come down to which team can play, one step ahead in each of these games, because we're at a point in Halo 5 where, especially on Strongholds game types is a great example, but it applies in Slayers and CTFs as well. You need to be ready for not just the next spawn cycle, but already thinking about what is the spawn cycle after that, because Halo 5 is such a fast game.
Yeah, because if you remember with Bittersweet, I think I mentioned before the actual match started, Anima and Solar, they're the kind of players where they're great Slayers, but there could be some days where they could be amazing, and there could be some days when they're not. At the moment, they're really doing really well, but will they keep on next series? We'll find out. But what we need to remember is, I think it's more come down to who wants it more in this stage.
Okay, I mean, the interesting thing as well to point out here, if the vetoes are up, by the way, so we will know. We're going to start on Eden and Plaza. Damn and blast them. I want to see a Plaza game at some
point.
You
might get one at some point.
2 on the last game would have been game 5 and game 6, but we didn't get that
It's
far.
taunting you already.
I know it is. It's taunting me every time. So we're not going to see Plaza or Rig or Empire. Shame we don't see Empire. We've seen a couple of great games on Empire already, and Eden is going to be game 1. In terms of game types, Andy, if there's something that these two teams can look at, Ego can take great heart from the fact they won 3 Slayer games against VWS. So we know they're strong on it already. They've then proved they're strong. They've got to be careful, Bittersweet here. Slayer games?
Certainly, and then that also lets them know that they absolutely have no room to lose their objectives, right? That's when, as a team, if you're playing against a top Slayer squad, and you drop one of the early objective games, you're in trouble, and then you're at the disadvantage for those Slayers. So I think it'll be really top for Bittersweet to maintain those objective points.
Yeah, because with Eden Slayer, just in general, it's one of those game types that can easily flip, and sometimes the better team doesn't always win. But with Eden Strongholds, there's a lot more skill to it in terms of like what's going on in the map with the extra power-ups, etc. So I think this first game's going to be unbelievable.
Yeah. All right, time for predictions, and I want them very quickly because I'm hearing the players are ready. So, Harry, which way is it going?
I'm going to say 4-1 Bittersweet.
Okay.
I'll go 4-2 Bittersweet.
Okay, a Bittersweet clean sweep. Try and say that very quickly when you've had a few. Let's head over to the commentary team now as we head into our third game of the day. It is the winner versus winner game, and this one's a big one. The winner is guaranteed a place in the Pro League.
Thank you very much, Paul. Sims and Gasking down on the desk. Dude, it's a pleasure to be here with you. We're about to send one team up to the next Pro League. We've seen this all the way from summer. We didn't see a new team. We saw the same two stay exactly where they were. Now we're at fall. Now we've got two Pro League teams down in the loser bracket. I didn't expect that. Straight off the bat, first 2 games, did not see it coming.
I mean, I don't want to say I called it, but we were in yesterday, we were talking about teams, and Paul said, I said, what do we think? Do we think that VWS are going to go through? And I was like, oh, we really need to look out for Ego. After I saw Ego's performance in the Open Circuit Finals, that's when I started to suspect we might see a changing of the guard. I know I got tweeted because I said Prophecy are probably better than any open team.
You definitely triggered Warlord.
I said that halfway through the season, so I don't even think Bittersweet existed during that point, but run us through the game type, Sims.
Alright then, so here you have on screen, guys, your best of 7 layout. Sorry, my voice is going deeper and deeper and slower and slower. Eden Strongholds will be game number 1, Regret Team Slayer will be game number 2. Game 3, Truth, Capture the Flag. Game 4, possibly the final one. If no one else managed to draw one up, it's going to be Empire Strongholds. And then games 5, 6, and 7. We're going to have True Slayer and back-to-back Colosseums for 6 and 7. Capture the Flag and Slayer. That is your best of 7 layout for the fall relegation match. This, of course, Bittersweet versus Ego. The winner of this will advance forward and be the first one across the globe to come up and out of the open circuit and take down Pro League teams. But again, I've got to allude to what you said, Dan. Fair enough, we're going to get one team out of these two going forward. It may even possibly two. Obviously, same scenario before. We'll see one of these teams drop down to the lower bracket, and then we're actually going to see the 2 Pro League teams go at it, and they're going to eliminate themselves. So one Pro League team is going to eliminate the other. That's pretty lit.
Yeah, that's going to look kind of nasty, because if you think about it, I mean, we had VWS, they've already played Prophecy throughout the season, and they beat them both times. I mean, I'm unsure if they even managed to win a map against VWS, so that's going to be a tough one for Prophecy, but you never know what happens in these pressure situations.
They may already be tilted. We saw Rage quit earlier on, so they could have that going for them. And I've got to still give credit where credit's due to Prophecy. Fair enough, they got 4-0'd, but they put up a good fight. You know, they went down with dignity. They will be facing off down in the loser bracket later on today, but now it's all about your winner bracket final. Strongholds on Eden. The first team to score 100 points will be your victor. We are streaming live on twitch.tv/Halo and over on facebook.com/ESL Halo. Tweet the streams. Let everyone know what's going down today, ladies and gentlemen. Use the hashtag HCS. This, of course, is Relegation Saturday here at the European Fall Season Finals. Kicking things off with Warlord's POV as he will dive bomb into pit. A couple of grenades are going to come oncoming from the opposing side. But look at Shady. Jumps in, thrusts back, bang, steals. We've got Camo in the hands of Solar, OS in the hands of Shady. Rockets are still up, Dan, so they're going to play an important factor. It looked to me like a blue team player may have just snuck them away, though.
Yeah, I wanted to start things off with Warlord because I said that this is one of the teams that I really think he can excel in. I think he struggled in Infused because they didn't really allow him to do what he wants to do in Halo 5. He's one of these players that likes to break away from the team. But because this team has such aggression and they just seem to coordinate despite not being with each other at times, it really helps Warlord with his game style. And you can really see how well that happened during the last game where he was picking up multi-kills here, there, and everywhere.
Be interesting to see if anyone gets a reset on Blue Band. And yes, they do indeed. We'll play a drop straight in. Morgu will find Shady. Shady gets cleaned up. 2 of his teammates will come in. They will try and turn this blue bend into a red cap point. However, Quad has got other ideas. He's rotating behind this. I love this player. This is amazing. He's just been very, very sneaky. He needs to be careful, though. There is a player coming on the back rail. There he is indeed. It's going to be Anima, but still doesn't see him. Expected him to go in for the ninja, but he doesn't. Turns around, drops a grenade in case anyone's there. If he would have stood his ground, though, a little bit more communication. They did have Morg from the opposing right-hand side, giving him some support. We're going to stay off Warlord through the spawn, though, Dan.
Yeah, I'm going to apologise now for my spectator functions. I'm not as good as Wonderboy when it comes to using these controllers and spectating. But yeah, jumping on board with Warlord here as he's just going to be helping his team take this blue bend. And I like the early start from Bittersweet. They have just really slowed this game down. They've kept it nice and controlled, kept the pace exactly where they wanted it. And at the moment, Ego can't respond to just the sheer power weapon control that we've seen from Bittersweet.
I mean, you say you're not as good as Wonderboy, Dan, but honestly, if he wasn't doing the controls, why else would we need him at the end of the day?
I'm better than him with a controller, but in other ways. Let's put it
he has to be good at something, bless him. He's only here for his face and for us to laugh at. Anyway, sorry about the abuse there, Harry. I love you all to bits. Shady going one-on-one with Quad, gets the beat down, gives him a nice elbow to the jawline. Down he goes. Grenades coming thick and fast. Didn't get the reset. I would have liked to at least. I know he was avoiding the grenade. It would have been nice to see him in for the reset. The ninja almost comes out. 1, 2, 3 beatdowns coming out of. It's going to be Anima. So his OS down. That's completely gone. He just got battered. Oh, this is a poor performance, so he needs to get the reload on this one. Finally takes him down. Has to commit suicide, though, and take him out as well. That was an amazing challenge there.
It was, and he had just picked up a triple kill just before. That's why I tried to switch across and try to catch if he could get the overkill, but it was just out of reach. But now we're starting to see Ego get back into this a little bit. They are putting points on the board. They've got a little bit of map control here, but it's going to be how Bittersweet do respond. You can see that Shady's trying to get behind. He doesn't want to get caught out here, because if he does get spotted, he's just giving away an unnecessary kill, and there is an advantage when you go into the next kind of team fight as such.
Quad doesn't see him whatsoever. He'll come out and challenge, though, but he is getting tanked over from across over at top cat. There's going to be several players. One of them's going to help him out. It's going to be Solo. Will back up into the corner. He's a little bit weak, though. What an oncoming grenade challenge, though, across the map. That's going to be 3/4 the way done. Needs to push up just to stop the reset. Fantastic grenade. That possibly was even from his own teammate, which completely ripped his shields apart. And now the grenades are coming in thick and fast. Needs to be careful of Xur in the corner. But here comes the Barupiat, takes a lot of shields off. There's no finish. We'll pick up the SMG turnaround. If he wants to bring on the challenge, then why not? Walks into the oncoming Splinter Grenade though, and down he goes. And at the moment, since we've had this 2-plot coming out of Ego down, we've not really seen it be taken back.
Yeah, and you can see I was just flicking through the points of view of Bittersweet, and none of them were alive. They all went down, so better stuff from Ego. Now they're actually getting some real control of this map, and I like the positions that they are holding. They're not over-exaggerating where they want to be pushing. They're not pushing too deep into bases, but they are trying to catch people here, there, and everywhere. So this is the stuff that Ego needed to do to get back into the series.
Disgusting shots coming out of this boy. He's absolutely fired up and wants his spot in the Pro League. He's been here before. He's here again, this time in a different position. He's a lot further on in the bracket. 37 to 45. They're making a very slow but sure comeback. Anima going one-on-one. Absolutely removed off of the server. The rocket just hits him clean point blank in the face. Zoo with, of course, rockets and overshield. Just pausing for a second. Misses the bit. No. Rip. Rip, my friend. That was not good. He should have stayed alive for a hell of a lot longer than that.
Yeah, unfortunately that does happen. Sometimes when you do have those rockets, you're a little bit questionable about whether you want to pull the trigger too early. You don't want to waste any rockets, but I would have liked him just to fire that one, as we now do see Ego taking control of the game. They actually gain the lead here. So despite a really poor start, they are getting back into this one. So we're going to jump over to Zer off spawn. He's been doing a lot of good things. You can see actually Quad picks up the double. So that's rockets on board with Ego once again. They've had them every single time.
How do you lose a battle with an SMG, man? He clipped him twice in the back. He should have kind of torn him up. I just want to touch on what you mentioned over the Rockets, Dan. I think that kind of plays part in the Spanker Rockets as a whole. You know, the initial Halo 5 rockets, they come out thick and fast. Sometimes you do question which speed, because they are a different style of rocket, and which they come straight out of that tube. And sometimes you have to think, you know, I need to pause for a second. Are they going to be in time? You do have to play a little bit more patient with them. At the end of the day, I've always said this. There is 4 bullets in that gun. That should be 4 guaranteed kills. So you've got to take your time and make them count. Unfortunately, it was a little bit too late. But we're back on board with Simply. This man's been doing some fantastic things so far, especially this morning against BWS. He was the absolute standout player. SMG in the back pocket. People coming off at the back of the turbines. There's Warlord now, going to jump up onto the red side turbine. Didn't quite catch Simply. He's been a little bit over-aggressive. Look at Anima. Anima's in a fantastic place here, Dan.
I'll just hop on across to him and see if we can jump on board with his point of view. There he is. So putting himself in a situation where he can help his teammates despite... It doesn't really matter where Ego are going to push. He's always going to be able to there to get shots on. And it's a strange one, because Bittersweet had such control at the start of the game, but Ego have just put so much pressure on them that Bittersweet haven't been able to get back on control once again. And I think that is when they're at their strongest. When it's this kind of fast-paced, aggressive playstyle, I think it is going to play into the favor of Ego.
So they're picking up a double kill in the kill feed. Anima will be taking down. Sorry about the Rubenstein name, guys. If you want to know who it is, of course, Anima, aka Dave. Solo now, going to jump up in the window, BR in hand. Pauses for a second. I like that. They've seen him on radar. They know where he is. Ground Pound Town was already queued up. Goes for the Ninja, but unfortunately that player is going to be up top. Survivability won't help you there, my friend. No hiding behind a computer when you've got no shields. Quad dropping down. Taking a peek at the SMG will more than likely wang that in his back pocket. Morg with a firework. Lights it up. Lands in the face of Warlord. We're going to see Morg try to make his way up the top mid. Unfortunately missed that jump there. Finds one. No hit markers though. A little bit. Needs to be more patient. I told you, these rockets, they do need a little bit more patience with them when it compares to Halo 5. But there again, same scenario. Ground pound though out of Anima. Questionable play, my friend. He should have just shot him and not tried to play it for style points.
Every single time that they get a stronghold, it just seems like Ego are responding with one of their own. Now this is the time Warlord picks up the double, and they have 2 strongholds to work with, so they're going to start putting points on board. They need to move on from this. It looks like they're going for the total control as well as looking across the blue bend. So this is perfect. Anima also picks up the double kill as well. With total control now, the points are going to start to rack up. So despite the heavy presence that Ego have had in the past 5 or so minutes, now we're going to have Bittersweet on top once again.
For the last 3 seconds, I think it's only been Zer who's been the last player alive, and he's alone over here. Insecurity, just trying to battle with a very nasty little aggressive Warlord. Look at that scoreline though, Dan. It's changed so much. Ninja almost all too real there. Simply going to jump into top. Catwalk grenades coming in thick and fast. Anima moving forward just to try and stay alive. Banks from off the back. Still no hit markers on. Anima staying alive here like a madman. Important kill again. Why go for a ground pound, mate? You don't need to do it. Just shoot this guy. There's one there. Needs one more bullet in the back of the head. Unfortunately, too little, too late. 100 to 81. That's disappointing. Ego looked well and truly in the driving seat there, and I'm shocked.
Yeah, Bittersweet were just waiting for that one moment where they pushed for that triple cap, and it was all she wrote. Solar, 20 kills, Shady, 13. Warlord and Anima, just 9 and 8, but I think the game says more than their kills did on the other side. Zert and Simply and Quadius actually all picking up a decent amount of kills. So across the board, the slaying was relatively similar, but it was just about Bittersweet going for that moment, just taking their time and saying, look, we can allow people to take as many points as they want. We can allow them to get up to 80 because we just need that one moment to take our chance.
I think we've got to say, though, Solo, man of the hour, taking control of that game. I mean, look at that, 20 kills, 5 ahead of anyone else on the board there, and 4 secures as well, doing the objective and the slaying power. Some awesome stuff. 15, 15, 15, and 11 on the opposing side. 9 and 8, and you called it perfectly down. It doesn't really tell the full story of that roster's progression there, but awesome stuff. We're going to see Bittersweet take game number 1. But you know what, Ego, they put up a damn good fight. Couple of little mistakes, especially with the rockets at the end from Zer there, and we saw him lose the OS as well. So just a couple like here, for instance, just, yeah, I mean, again, not all his fault. This was a bad one. That there was a complete wipeout of the OS, but a couple of little plays here and there. No major issues, unfortunately, did cost them the game. But you know what? We are in the best of 7, guys. There is plenty of games left to bring this one back. It's only map number 1. They put up a damn good fight. Impressive stuff from both sides. Looking forward to match number 2. And again, we are now 3 maps closer to potentially a new person, a new team inside the Pro League. You can see on screen. Dan, give us a quick run through the vetoes, my friend.
Yep, so Plaza was taken out, Plaza Slayer that is, by Ego. Then Eden was taken out by Bittersweet. Colosseum taken away, and then Rig as well. Truth, the final choice, and that left us with Regret Slayer, which I might remind you, Ego did play Regret Slayer earlier, and they did win this one. We've not seen Bittersweet on it today, but it's one of those game types where I feel this is really going to spiral out of control. Like, who gets that first overshield and how they're going to push on from that, because once you've got that timing for the overshield, that's when it makes a real difference.
I'm surprised at the Truth Slayer ban, especially how they performed, and they really did excel against VWS. You thought they may have been a tiny bit more confident going into that one, but they took it out regardless.
Well, both teams won Truth Slayer
yeah.
in their previous games. So I guess Ego were watching Bittersweet's game and said, alright, so you had a good performance on Truth Slayer as well. Let's move across to Regret Slayer, which we have already played, which we know we're confident on. And let's try and take you out of your comfort zone. But I don't think that you can take Bittersweet out of their comfort zone. I think they're one of these teams that is just phenomenal across the board at all maps. They play Arena a lot. You know full well they play Arena a lot. Come on, these are the matchmaking kids that are moving into Pro League. Let's be honest, that is how it is. Like, and but that's good. That's amazing that we can get these players that started off from matchmaking and now are pushing. Well, I say that they were in Pro League at one point.
It's the story of the open circuit, right? Though, you know, I mean, this is what it's there for. It's for people like these teams that are both on your screens now to participate in, to work at, to move on to that next level into relegation, to even potentially peak and go beyond that, which one of these two teams absolutely most definitely will. So the whole story has come full circle of the HCS open circuit. Awesome stuff. Less about that, more about this. Slayer on Regret. First team to get 50 kills will be your victor. Another awesome game type. Both of these teams are fired up, ready to rock and roll. It's going to be Ego taking on Bittersweet. Ego, unfortunately, just falling short of the very last hurdle there. They did make a fantastic comeback, but not good enough as we saw Bittersweet turn it around. Dan, let's see who grabs himself the first OS.
Yeah, Zer just getting in a position here, tried to throw down some grenades, but he just got absolutely wiped off the map. Simply getting himself into a position to take down the overshield. Really important beatdown. Didn't allow him to get away. Picks up the double as well. I love this start. He just made sure he was there. He was there. He was everywhere. And sometimes this happens when you are a player. You just have to get in the midst of it and not be scared of dying.
Cheeky rotation coming out of Anima though. Moves around with the plasma caster. Takes out 2 as well. He's still getting kills on the kill feed. You can see there finally gets taken down by Quad 5-3. The score. Initial lead moving in the hands of Bittersweet. Bobbing and weaving, trying to stay off that radar. Shady will drop down underneath. He finds Simply around the corner, who's just waiting himself. Not moving, staying off the radar. The scatter shot there? Nope, he had a check as well. It's like, oh, I want to check the same thing. Not actually there, so that's going to be in play. Moves around the corner. Morgu just gets the hard shoulder there as a Spartan charge comes in, punches the mid-air. He's getting chased, so his teammates were there to help him out as well. Oh. Look at this use. Spartan abilities, my friend. That is you know, you've got them, so why not abuse them?
Yeah, I say it all the time as well. Survivability is so important in Halo 5. You've just got to make sure you don't give away any stupid kills. And I am going to pass it back to you, Sims, because I need to sneeze.
All right, then, now I will let you sneeze, my friend, and we'll see if Infused can sneeze this one out. It's going to be Wall Infused, even Infused Warlord, so to speak. He does. He sneezes out a double kill. Looking for a triple. There's no one in sight, even on the player outlines. Everyone started to turtle down. My
good.
word.
I'm back. They were great sneezes, and it was just because of all the pollution that's coming out of this map on Regret, as Warlord is just sitting here top mid. And at the moment, it's like Bittersweet are just trying to pincer Ego. Ego just getting caught in this space. They're on spawn and they can't really get out at the moment, but they're not pushing out one by one, and this is what I like.
Maybe the sneezing is from the flowers that are on Regret. Are we going for too many puns here?
Probably.
Is it time to stop?
Yeah.
It's time to stop. There we go. Moving around then, Warlord will find one. He just finds the face full of bullets coming off of Simple. Simple will drop as well. Zoo's going to move into top mid. Got his teammate as well. Anima is just peeking around below, and if you've got a wild Anima below you, then you are going to be rather concerned. Look at that teamwork, though. He just turned around. He's like, yep, I'll get him. Do not worry about it. Shady's going to pick up a nice, perfect kill on quad as well. And the kill feed Zer with an uncontested, may I have you, uncontested OS. Perfect. Gives Shady the hot 4.
Oh.
Perfect. Gives Anima the hot 4 as well. This is Zer, ladies and gentlemen. He is a fantastic player, and he is on fire.
Yeah, Slayer is where this team is comfortable, and he was uncontested at the overshield. This is disappointing from Bittersweet. I was expecting at least one player there. They knew the timing full and well. Like, everyone was there at the start of the game when it was first picked up, so you should have had a couple of players, at least one, just to try and take it off him, but instead, Zer was able to grab it, pick up some important kills, and now they have a lead, and you can see they're all swarming in on this base to try and catch out any Bittersweet players, and this is the lead that we'll want to see Ego have. When they do get the lead, when they do snowball out of control, that's when they're at their best.
How can we appreciate the teamwork of this team, though? I mean, how long now has Zer been alive, you know? We've seen him flashing with no shields time and time again, but every single moment his teammates just come to his aid and his support, as he does get pushed by 2 Plasma Caster there as well. Very close to allowing the ground pound stall to make him thrust backwards, but didn't quite land it. However, regardless of that, he's still alive. 22-18 is the scoreline. It's a very fragile lead indeed, but it's still lead. Look at this. Calls for some support. Shady's round the corner. Oh, very close. Great effort coming out of Shady. Killing spree now for Zer. This is fantastic work by him. I mean, we might as well stay with him until he dies down.
Exactly. He's just being a nuisance, just getting behind, and the opposition's constantly looking for him, and by doing that, it allows his team to push in and get kills of their own. So great stuff from Zer. He does eventually go down, so we'll move across to Warlord and see what he can do to respond and get back into the game. They do have top middle control now. Overshield will be coming up in about 20 seconds or so you'll start to see teams dropping down to bottom mid to contest that one. But we didn't see Bittersweet contest it originally, so maybe they might switch things up and put some players bottom mid now.
8 minutes remaining on the clock then, 25-26, a very even kill. We're going to see Warlord getting a perfect across map, drills quad with the 5-shot, and now here comes the turtle for the OS. Several people moving down. There's the grenade. It's up now. We can see the greenness, and there the greenness will move into the body of a Frenchman. That's going to be Solar, picks it up, bangs it into his chest. It's going to be OS support for them now. They do have a lead of 2 kills. They're more than likely going to be able to advance this one with this power-up. 1, 2, 3. All 4 players are going to be top mid. Excuse me. One of them's actually going to be here on the left-hand side. It meets with 2, 3 as well. Zer giving some great shot though. Bye OS. That's completely ripped clean off his back now. In comes the green gun. Does stay alive for just a second, but he will drop. This game is neck and neck. Dan, just press back for a second. Let's take a quick look at some of the kills. Show the people at home. It's going to be Anima who's on top there with 11 kills. Death's keeping them low. It's going to be Warlord. Only 7 and 4. Great work from Stu. Simple though, once again, story of the previous matches, is the man of the hour carrying this team. Dan, it's 31-29.
And nothing was done with that overshield. It was really good actually from Ego to be able to just clamp Bittersweet into that base so they weren't able to push out with the overshield, and they were able to rain down shots while he was just stuck in a corner as Warlord's actually going to go down. So we'll move across to Zer. And only 2 kills in this one. I think this is going to go down to the wire here. It's one of those situations where usually you'll see a team run away from it at 30 kills, but because they're so back and forth with their top middle control, I can't see a team going away with it right now.
Talk about power weapon control. Steam's in with the scatter shot. Takes 1 long range as he actually will scope in and tighten up that spread. Warlord's forced to push back. He does just hide behind a pillar. Grenade comes flying across his head. Quads are forced to try and stay alive, which he does. No hit markers on that player there, so he doesn't actually know All of a sudden his body just comes flying around the corner as Morgul gives him a nice hop 5 straight across the map. Grenades are going into the corner. No hit markers are found. Green gun is come out once again to play. And this is kind of what it is for Archway. You see players just camping and patrolling, is a better word, Dan. They just creep around and you lock down this side, and you can even lock down potentially the scatter shot into your back pocket as well. You can see here he does have the green gun, but if he can at least just cover this entire 50% of the map, that leaves his teammates just allowed to play with a bit of freedom and kind of guess where they're coming from. It's actually going to be Zoo, who does, of course, have the scatter shot in his back pocket.
And he's dropping down because Overshield is coming up, but I believe Shady was able to pick that one, but the Plasma Pistol comes out. So it was Solar, sorry, who had it, but he will lose that Overshield. Instead, will move across to Shady. So the Overshield not going to play a big part once again, which is good for Ego, because they were down by just those couple of kills, so he will stay in it. But now just a 1-kill game. I'd like to see both teams slow this one down a little bit. You don't want to give away any silly deaths in this situation.
Nice cheeky trade-off from Shady there before he died. He did get the Plasma Caster off to at least take the opponent with him. 5:15 remaining. Grenades are going straight into blue. See if we can find any spawners. They're actually moving forward. It's going to be Warlord out of the map as he gets in with 2 seconds left to live. Finds Zer top mid as well, looking for the hot 5. Zer is forced to back off. Some great aim there coming out of Warlord. Will drop down, just wait for anyone else. Zer don't know where to aim. He's completely juked him. Perfect kill. Hits him with 5 bullets to the visor. Down he goes as well. Crept up. Double kill for Warlord. Finds quad. He wants a triple. It's there up top mid, but unfortunately he's got a BR. Wipes him out. And now we're back on board with Anima. Throwing that splintering grenade. Doesn't find its target. Puts another one in case he wants to poke back out. But he's actually getting challenged from top mid. He doesn't actually know the grenade's coming from Morgu. They get the reversal as well. This will be a massive double kill if he can get the trade, which he does. And now we will see them on the back foot. Ego, they're only down by 1 kill. It's 47-48. This is a very, very close one, Dan. It's going to come all the way down to the wire. This is what you wanted.
Yeah, look at them just turtling into the base as well. They are scared now as quad is going to push out. Important if he can pick up that kill, but he can't. Just 1 kill needed now for Bittersweet. And this would be detrimental for Ego if they were to lose a Slayer. 49-49 though. Let's move across to Simply, see if he can pick up the final kill.
Oh, everyone's on the one side. He's found one player who's running into the open, but he knows what he wants. He wants the scar shot. 49-49. 4 minutes on the clock. Next kill will claim victory in this map number 2. But look at where everyone is. They're all banked up together. There's 4 minutes remaining. Plenty of time. Here comes the battle. Anima's known for challenge. Let's see if he challenges this one. Warlord stuck in top mid as well. We can hear pro players downstairs are in the studio. Anima's there. He's jumping out. Oh, it's going to be Warlord on the opposing side of the map that takes down quad. Holy hell, that was close. 49-50 will be the final score. Simply going massive again, Dan.
I mean, and what a way to come down to it, with Zer and Warlord just being on that final length. It kind of felt throughout the whole game. It was like a power control of who could get the most kills, who could stay alive, and in the end, Warlord got that final kill. Really important for them. 14 kills for Anima. On the other side, Simply with 17, Quad with just a 6. That isn't enough. He did have 10 assists, but a real close one, and that's going to be really hard to swallow for Ego, because they've obviously been fantastic on Slayers throughout today, and now they're actually staring at a 2-0 deficit with 2 objective games following up.
Yeah, it's not a great, I want to say a great stat there. 6-14, it definitely isn't a great stat. However, 10 assists is very, very good. You know, helping to support, Andy said it before, it does support your team in many, many ways, but 17-14 coming out of Simply. 14, 13, 12, 11, all in numerical order. 9 deaths only coming out of Warlord. He managed to keep that one far, far down, which is absolutely fantastic. But, I mean, honestly, we've seen it before. And you know, you go back to Worlds, Dan. Anima's aggressive. He don't care. If you want to challenge, bring it on. That German man will happily take your face if you want to have a go with him. I expected that at the end. He was on his own, literally. I don't know if we've got the final kill, but he was about to die. He had 2 players beaming down. Unless the player above him was also going to drop down, that couldn't have been closer if it tried. There's no other better saying. What a fantastic game too.
Yeah, it's one of those situations where you're just doing everything to try and stay alive, and your nerves start to kick in, your heart starts to beat a little bit faster. I just can't stress enough how hard this is going to be take for Ego, especially as now we're going into Truth Capture the Flag and Empire Strongholds. Now, actually, I believe Ego did lose Truth Capture the Flag earlier as well. On the other side, Bittersweet, they've won Truth Capture the Flag, so you'd like to think it's going to favour those guys.
You would like to think, but so far today, every single thing, just rip every single anything you've got prediction-wise, anything can happen today, guys. Map number 3, Veto, is on your screen. It's going to be Bittersweet taking out Stasis. We'll then see Fathom be removed by Egod, and then that comes back to Bittersweet. They take out Colosseum. Again, surprised the second time they've done that one, I believe. Could be wrong, could be quite wrong. But we're going to be moving into a Truth CTF. A map we all love. We all remember many years of this map. It's changed a little bit. It's had a bit of a paint job, but we all know the generics of this map. However, the one thing Halo 5 stands different from any other kind of rendition of Halo we've seen, it's that fuel rod. That fuel rod is a nasty weapon. You get that, you lock down the rifles, we've got a BR, we've got Carbine, you lock them 3 weapons down, it's GG no re. The amount of times you will see people just crunching them and pincing them, you know, into a base, off the spawn. Especially if you put someone over in bubble, because then you can move them, you know, over a P side. You say, alright, I'm in bubble, so they're not going to spawn here, we'll just push them, flood them into P every single time and time again. If you lock down top mid, though, it gets really nasty. But then again, I suppose if you get a sword as well, it's in trouble. There's a lot of weapons, a lot of things that can go on this map, and there's also a lot of ways to break the setups.
We saw what Bittersweet did on it earlier on, actually, against Prophecy. They were just absolutely phenomenal at controlling that fuel rod, and there was just no answer from Prophecy. And Egod struggled on it earlier, so I'm leaning towards Bittersweet to take this and then being 3-0 up, and then we move into an Empire Strongholds. Egod actually won the Empire Strongholds. That's the only objective game type they've won today, but I still think once you're 3-0 down, it's going to be extremely difficult, and Bittersweet's confidence will just be too high for Egod to come back into it, in my opinion. But Egod just needs to take every game as it comes now. They need to forget those last 2 games, and they need to say, look, let's just focus on this one. We don't care that it's not a Slayer. We've just lost a Slayer, so if we can lose Slayers, we can win objectives.
Which is kind of what they did before. They were down in the series, right? They were 3-1 against VWS, and they brought it back, and they ended up winning game number 7. We'll bring the series scores up on screen now. You can see the full series laid there. Best of 7. We're going to see Bittersweet take game 1, which was Eden Strongholds. That was 100 points to 81. A very, very close fought battle. I've got to say it was definitely a little bit of a comeback towards the end. Regret Team Slayer, what you just witnessed on the screen was an absolutely cracking game. 50 to 49. It did end, but it could have gone either way on a coin toss. Truth captured the flag. We're now moving into game number 3. Ladies and gentlemen, please tweet the stream. Use the hashtag HCS. Remember, we're on twitch.tv/Halo. And of course, over on facebook.com/ESL Halo. You can watch on your mobile. Tell your mum, tell your dad, tell your nan, tell your dog, tell your cat. You've got a cat. I've got a cat. And I absolutely hate it, but my wife loves it. So unfortunately, can't get rid of the thing. Capture the flag on Truth is now live, guys. First team to capture 3 flags to win, or the team whoever has the most at the end of the time will be crowned victor. We'll be claiming victory in game number 3 as we head on into game number 4. Egod versus Bittersweet is now live. Any particular person you want to be watching out for on this map down?
I mean, this man, he hasn't done the crazy things that he did throughout Open, but he's just one of those players that is in every kind of position across the map. He is just behind his team, and he's making sure that they're getting the power-ups, getting the power weapons. So that's why I want to start things off with Zero. And I just want to give a shout-out, actually, from doing this kind of dual cast again rather than the tri-cast. I've got to give a love to Wonderboy with the spectating controls. He does a phenomenal job to be able to spectate and commentate at the same time. It can be a little bit tricky.
You can say what you want about Harry, but you know he's not very good at Halo. But yes, he is good at using spectator mode, and he is a lifesaver. Especially, you know, we look at he is a tri-cast at the end of the day, and some of the things that we see is just he is there. He's the man who shows us. I'll always remember the one where he said it was accidental. I don't believe him. Where he moved up to top mid on Fathom, and we actually got SLG's Ninja.
Oh yeah.
Oh, do you remember? Oh yeah. It was funny though. I don't think he meant to do it, but you know what? We're going to say for the sake of it that he did. Less about all of that. We're 11 minutes in. Excuse me, not 11 minutes in. We're 1 minute into the game. It's currently at 0-0. We're going to see a double kill coming out of Zer. However, Anima's hanging back inside his base, fuel rod in hand. Only 2 bullets in the chamber though. He's found. Oh, that was interesting. It wasn't as easy as what I expected, as the storm rifle will come in from Shady. Down he goes as well, so it's going to be 2 members of Bittersweet falling. The flag is out and in play. There could be a potential cap coming out of someone here if they can just carry on moving. That is a nice couple of shots straight there as he moves his way up into P2. Oh, what? That was insane. Reversal perfect coming out. Cracking shots from these players here. They are trying to work their way up into the Pro League. Sword comes flying around from Solar. Slices one. There's another kill coming out. Well, what's with these perfects today? What's going on?
These guys are not missing shots as both flags get returned, so there won't be a capture nice and early on. But Egod here, now they have a sword in their control, and you can see that Morg is just trying to control this side of the map. He says, look, if I can get some teammates with me, if we can push together, then we might be able to push into the flag and get a flag pull. But you've got to be careful, on truth, not to just pull flags at random points, because you could really be punished by counter caps.
Shady just caught bobbing and weaving around. Bottom mid, Solar drops down as well. Doesn't land on that grenade, but he does have some support, so more than likely we'll see him drop, which we don't. Eat my words, he's actually still alive. Warlord aggressive, knew when the camo, you heard him punch it into the back. Zoo is probably going to fall, which he does. Let me see Zoo there to at least, excuse me, Solar, not Solar. Solar is there to at least stopping advancing any further forward. You can also see Shady drop down as well. He had the sword. A lot of blue players, a lot of blue outlines was seeing here, Dan. So that's going to be sword control and base control going into the hands of Egod. At this moment in time, it all comes down to Solar, though. Whether he can get this kill, it'd be huge if he did. Doesn't quite manage to pull off some solarific stuff as he normally does, to be honest with you, as we see Anima pulling the flag. But all of a sudden the sword just gets completely rinsed up his back. Down he goes. Fuel Rod also falling on the opposing side of the map, down. Solar coming off of the spawn. Yeah,
I'm surprised that he pushed in for that flag pull. I mean, he actually saw the player on the radar, so he didn't really need to pull the flag, but perhaps he thought he was going to be able to get away with it and a teammate would have supported him. As Morg is laying down some shots, he does pick up the headshot as well to finish it off. So good stuff from him, but he's kind of stuck under the base now. Several times Morg has been found on his own during this map. He needs to make sure he's pushing with his team, because if he's just giving away kills, he's going to allow Bittersweet to push and have a 4v3 advantage.
It's not what you want to be doing to this team, because Anima and Solar, you know, in fact the whole of that roster, Warlord and Shady, you give them an inch, they will happily take a mile. Really take full advantage of any kind of situation that is handed to them. A little bit of a battle going on across map. One in the base, one will drop as well. We can't see him on outlines, so he's going to be dead. As we see Shady moving in underneath his own base, just trying to check if anybody's still there. 1, 2, 3 players forced to camp back as well. They don't know where Simplay is. Now he's called out as he tags up Warlord. Shady comes flying around the corner. In comes the Splinter Grenade. I'm surprised he stayed so scoped in for so long and not thrusted away, as a firework is lobbed across the map. Finishes him off. That is a very easy kill. 1, 2 players called out. Warlord, nice thrust back. I like that map movement into his window. Stands his ground. AR comes out. Storm Rifle as well. Now he's going to be looking to get inside his base and just clear out the enemy team.
Yeah, Egod are trying to push in, but every time they do, Bittersweet are always there to respond. You can see that actually Warlord is greeted by someone under the base with him now. That is 2 kills, so Bittersweet can now push up the map. They can get control of these towers and move in and try and pull a flag of their own. Furor Cannon is up as well, so Warlord is going to be able to grab that, which will just add to the sheer map control that they currently have. Needs to be careful not to be picked off here, though.
Stuart
will get taken down by Simply, and that'll be a Furor Cannon as a reward for his kill.
Yeah, a little bit of a mistake there from Warlord. He certainly should have had that kill in the bag, and he didn't even fire one off pretty much. He just happily handed it to them on a plate with no fight back whatsoever. Zur just checks out camo, makes sure it's not there. Swords in his back pocket, finds one. He gets completely fed a Tangerine. The second grenade comes in as well, as it normally does, takes him out. So that's going to be Sword taken down. Solar with the assist as well to Shady to help him out, clear out top mid. We can see on the outlines are going to be spawning over in Bubble. That's going to be Zio. As we drop down to Shady as well with a Fuel Rod. Now he's going to get pincered though. 1-2. It's going to be a little bit of a 2-on-2 battle over here at Carbine. Turns around. He gets completely lit up. As we see Zio taking him down. 2 more players. We're going to see Anima taking control of top mid as his teammate helps him out from P side. Drops down to P1. Quad's trying to take control of P2, but unfortunately he's not strong enough for the oncoming battle of that Storm Rifle. Look at that teamwork. He actually, and this is Anima all over, right? No shields whatsoever. You want to challenge it? I'll happily challenge it. BR's in the back pocket. Bring it on, Sunshine, which is exactly what he did. He did now at least force them back. They're running this flag, but the defense, fantastic work coming out of Anima. Great map movement as ever.
Yeah, Bittersweet are just always happy to come back to the base as soon as they know that a flag's been pulled out, but we're just having this big fight at the moment for control of the map. Neither team really able to lock down control, and it's getting a little bit messy, but now with Sword in control, if he can slice and get Simply here, it's going to be nice there. He does pick up the double, needs to stay alive because that Sword's going to be really important. His grenade actually gets the triple kill from the grave, I believe, because they're trying to put this flag in, but here comes several members just flying in. That's 2 down now for Egod, but the flag will still go in for Bittersweet, and that will be a 1-0 to them, and it's the lead that they wanted. I think it's the lead that they probably deserved, despite it being very messy. They have had more of the slays.
Yeah, it was definitely scrappy, but as you mentioned, Dan, it was definitely, they wanted it more, and They were rewarded with a flag cap at the end. More than likely keep the pressure on. There's 5:50 on the clock. Still plenty of time for a couple more caps here in this game and a little bit more action. So picks off one with the BR across the map. Solar comes straight off the spawn below his base. You know what? He's going to wait. He's going to happily tag these boys up. Great work from his teammate there to at least support him, to force Solar to move backwards. He knows the player's inside that base, but he's all tagged up and in trouble. Look, oh, what? He knew exactly what were going on, so he happily just landed it at his feet. Quad's there as well. Please get the triple. Please get the triple. You dirty, dirty Frenchman. That is incredible work from Solar, going absolutely huge with the Storm Rifle. Awesome work from him, just putting on a show and completely defending his base to the maximum. French players are just fantastic. Really, the lightning to watch. Some of the things that they come out with are incredible.
Oh, for sure. One thing I've noticed from Bittersweet in this game is they are more than happy to just wait and just say, look, we're going to put ourselves into a position where we can at least see our base. Ego can push in, they can grab a flag. When they do so, we're just going to rain down shots. We're going to take down 1 or 2 players. That's when we make our move. That's when they push in, and that's when they go for those counter caps. Yes, it's not been happening quickly, but they still have the lead. And I think that's what's really important. That's what we've got to take away from this. That it doesn't matter how quickly you win a game, as long as you win it in the end.
Yep, and they could potentially, at least from Ego's side, maybe be able to at least get a counter on this one, which unfortunately that's easily shut down as the sword just comes in, slices him, takes him down. Grenades coming thick and fast. Oh, Solar! How did they let him get a touch on that? That is incredible. He's still alive. 2 of his teammates are there. Anima says, leave it, homie. I will happily put this one in the back of the net. 2-0 now is the score. And the pressure just got a hell of a lot harder here for Ego Dam.
Yeah, I think that was a couple of missed shots there. If Solar had gone down, he shouldn't have really been able to touch that one. There was a few grenades thrown, maybe a little bit too prematurely. If they had saved them, it could have been a different game. But now Ego are staring at a 2-0 deficit, and they really need to just start getting control of the map, because they've been pushing in, but they've been allowing Bittersweet to just run bottom mid and run behind them, and because they've constantly been in their base, they've not really been able to do anything with their map control whatsoever. As it does look like Anima nearly picks up the triple, but does actually just pull away from it. I like that. He wasn't too over-committed to the triple there.
And the flag's on the move, and that's probably why he went to go help his teammate out. He says, right, we're going to run this one, boys. So away we go, sword in hand. He got his Warlord, who's going to bag himself a double. That is going to be GG game number 3. 3 caps to 0. Bittersweet putting on a very, very sweet show for here. This is awesome work.
Absolutely incredible stuff.
That was a really bad pun as well, I'm sorry.
I mean, it's okay.
I kind of look, you look disappointed, didn't you?
I did look a little bit disappointed,
Yeah,
but do you know who's not looking disappointed?
Warlord.
20 kills. I mean, this is his time to shine. This is his time to get back in that Pro League. If you remember, he was on that Infused lineup last season. Did get dropped after goosing famously during the finals, but now he's here, he's back, he's making a statement. Anima, 15 kills. Shady, 13 kills. Solar with 19 on the opposite team. I mean, they didn't really get outslayed that much. This is what I mean. From the whole game, the kind of feel I was getting from it, it was just very back and forth. However, because Bittersweet were just constantly waiting for Ego to pull a flag, and as soon as they did, they took down that player, and then they had that man advantage. And it was easy stuff for them. As soon as it was a 4v3 situation, they were always going to be able to push it. They were always going to be able to win that fight and get a flag pull for themselves. So great stuff from Bittersweet, and now they're just one game away, Sims, from making it into Pro League.
Which is absolutely, I want to say it's a shock, but it's not. You know, it's amazing and it's incredible to see an open circuit team doing so well and just putting on an absolute show for people. And being the first team in the world to do this, you know, this level of showing where they're coming up from an open circuit and just wiping the floor with pro circuit teams. They're now taking down their arch enemies, their rivals, I want to say, from the open circuit. Again, the team that they did originally beat. But this team, it's just so good, you know? You look at the names on it, you've got Shady, you throw him in the mix, and things just escalate a little bit out of control, a little bit faster, but all the, 3 guys on this team, they've been here, they've done that, they've had the Pro League t-shirt, they know what it's like, not necessarily to sit on the main stage, but to be in this level of position where this is competitive Halo. We know what needs to be done, we know what's on the line, we know what's at stake, we just need to get this thing done. One more map, they're going through.
And our next map will be Empire Strongholds. You can see on your screen the vetoes are there. Eden Strongholds was already played, then Bittersweet took out the rig, and then Ego voted out Plaza. So still not seeing any Plaza today.
Plaza. I don't like
I mean,
Plaza.
this is crazy. If you look at Pro League, especially at the start of Pro League, we were seeing Plaza every
It's like back to
single
back practically,
week.
isn't it?
Teams were like, yeah, Plaza is our game. Everyone knew how to play it, but perhaps this is a different thing. The open teams are just like, nah, we don't really want to play Plaza.
Have we actually seen a sniper map yet?
We saw... Yes, we did. We saw...
Been rig, won't it?
Eden Slayer?
Yes, we did.
Yes.
Of course. My bad. Yeah, of course we did.
I got there in
silly.
the end.
But don't you look at me like that. In the background, we've just got Wonder Boy looking with his little kappa face. Drop a kappa
Can you
in the
come
street.
do this?
Okay. Can you...
I'm struggling a little bit. I'm not
You know,
gonna
you're
lie.
doing fine, my ginger friend.
Trying to... I tell you
Doing
what,
fine.
actually, pressing buttons whilst
It
talking
really scares
at the
me
same
like
time.
my hand's bigger than your entire shoulder.
It's... Okay. Alright then.
That freaks me out a little bit. Never
It
mind.
scares me that Onset's arm is bigger than me, but, you know, these things happen.
Henchset is looking...
Is that his name this weekend?
Henchset, that's what we're going to call him. I'm concerned that we may have to buy him new shirts, though.
Just because if he like gets too excited, and it just breaks.
Hulkamania.
Yeah, I think this is.
I do say, though,
something
the
we've gotta be
bigger he
worried
gets,
about.
though, his hairline does recede. Sorry, I'm sorry. I won't even go there. Anyway, we love him. We look after ginger people. Is he down there?
He is.
Hi, Matt, mate. You all right? Game number 4 is about to go live, ladies and gentlemen, and this is going to be an awesome, awesome matchup. One team in the form of Bittersweet could, of course, be going towards the next iteration of Pro League. You can see the series layout now. Can they claim victory and get that 4-0 sweep? That's exactly what is on their minds right now, and that is what we could be seeing on Empire Strongholds. But we got to say, what we saw out of eGood was insane on this map. When they played VWS, they went absolutely ham. And, you know, they came out on top with the victory. We've seen wild things happen in the Pro League. We've seen wild things happen in Halo. Anything is possible. But right now, eGood's backs are up against the wall. They could be going down and be pushed into the loser bracket. Bittersweet could potentially be advancing. We'll be finding out in just a second. But yeah, Dan, for now, just any predictions how this one is going to go, my friend?
I mean, this was the game type that eGood, when they hadn't won any objective game types, we were like, oh, this is going to look a little bit tough for them. But this was the turnaround. This was how they took down VWS, by taking the Empire Strongholds and then moving on and moving forward. So perhaps they could do the same, but honestly, I just think Bittersweet looked too strong. We said it before today started that Bittersweet were the favourites to go on to Pro League, especially the first team that was going to make it there. And I think their league's above eGood, to be honest. Even though eGood have put up a fight, and yes, okay, game 1 and 2 were relatively close, just the teamwork is a lot better from Bittersweet. You can see they are well drilled, they're well oiled, and they are very much practiced.
Well, this is it, guys. The teams are locked. They are loaded. They are in the sky. Could be going live any second. Make sure you tweet the stream. Use the hashtag HCS. Let everyone know what's going down today. We have a fantastic matchup about to go live. It is indeed. The spectate mode is up. Let's dive into game number 4 and what could be potentially the map-winning entry, the ticket on the door here for Bittersweet into the Pro League. Empire is all that stands between them. Can they hold up and can they make it work? We got OS in play. We got a Saw in play. Who controls the power weapons? Who gets the slays? And more importantly, who puts 100 points on the board and bags the win at the end of the game? Any particular person you want to kick things off with, Daniel?
Honestly, I want to see what Warlord's got to offer. I mean, he's been doing amazing stuff throughout the whole game and throughout the whole series, in fact. So why not start off things with him? And I really want to see eGood be able to get control of Pit first. We saw what happened when they were behind earlier on against VWS, and they were able to bring it back. But if they get that early lead, then I'm a little bit scared for Bittersweet. But straight away, Warlord pushing it, getting that Pit uncontested as well. And this will be early control for Bittersweet, which is exactly what eGood should have done.
Same thing as before, Dan. I just want to point out. Avoid, you can now see, now the Saw's come out. Oh, he didn't have it charged up, which is a little bit unfortunate because that player's going to have the Saw in the back pocket. Avoid the Saw. Completely sack it off. Have one person rotate out. A couple of people move towards fans and turbines. Then go in for Pit. Grab the Pit. Then move over and start looking at the power weapons, which he did. They tagged up on blue. They moved from Pit over to there. We're going to see a triple cap come into effect. Unless Kia, I can't believe, is that quad? It's actually going to be quad dropping down on Shady. If Shady gets that kill, which he doesn't, quad saves the day, stops the triple cap happening. Still, 0 points on the board here for eGood. A lot of work to do as they are. The time is slowly ticking away. Beatdown comes out. Quad sends out Solar. Happily accepts the oncoming assault from Anima, but Anima at least will get some support from Shady. So the dream is still alive. The Pit dream is still alive, and they do take it. And now we're looking towards a triple cap. They've got the outside 2 bases, Dan. The players are dropping in. They do get the reset on Pit, which is a little bit unfortunate. But now the pressure got a little bit harder the barrel, taking off the shields there of Quad. Unfortunately, didn't quite kill him. Grenade's going to come in. He needs to push in, does Warlord, if he wants to get a stop. But there are 2 players, so he needs to be extremely careful. We'll punch him down in the face. One-on-one battle here. Solo for Simply for Pit, and it's going to be Solo who goes out on top.
And this all goes back to that kill that Quad got when he was pushing into red base, I believe, and he was able to take down Solar. He reset it. They then pushed round to blue. They grabbed blue as well, and then they started putting points on the board. They were so close to grabbing Pit. If they had grabbed Pit, this could have been the turnaround that they needed. But unfortunately, Bittersweet were just throwing bodies there to respond to anything Egode were putting down in that pit, and now Egode have to find a way to break this setup once again. And as we're speaking, more time is just racking up, or more points should I say, is racking up for Bittersweet, and they are edging closer and closer to that Pro League.
So Quad was in a really, he's in a good place. Unfortunately, that grenade is going to force him out, but he has been a little bit of a nuisance. But the unfortunate thing is, while he stays here, time still racks up. He can't actually make anything happen being stood there, apart from be a nuisance and really draw players to him. He needs other people to do other things rather than just being stuck alone in that corner. Solo's rotating up through tower, which is an interesting play. I'm not a big fan of going in tower whatsoever unless the Saw's there. Now he gets flanked from behind. Zoo takes him out. Shady's got the fresh OS, which we didn't see him catch it, but you can see he's got a nice green layer on him there. And there's the triple cap, Dan. They're coming off the spawn as well inside red, so if they can get in, get the reset, it's going to be Shady who's going to rack up a few kills. Takes him out at least half shields there with the Splinter Nade. What a combo.
I mean, Saw plus Overshield, you had total control. They are just nailing that nail into the coffin. Now we are going to see Bittersweet move into Pro League if everything stays like this. But I'm not going to count Egode out just yet, because if you remember what happened, Egode versus VWS, I think they were 75-5 down, and they were still able to bring that one up. Shady gets ninjaed by Morg there.
He actually managed to get him. He helped his teammate out, so he didn't actually ninja him there. Let's break that one down for a second. He jumped over his head, Dan, and his teammate shot him as he ran through his legs. That's insane. He would have definitely ninjaed him, but the teamwork there is incredible. The team shot. They're still dropping points, so it's not about Slayers, which is the one important thing we have to look at on here. But my word.
I've got to say, look at the positioning for Bittersweet as well. When they were down bottom in the pit, 2 of them were just stood still. And I was thinking, wait, has there been a disconnect? But they were just stood still, and they were waiting for one player to drop to that pit. And then they just laid shots into him and took him down in a matter of seconds. The Egode player just couldn't respond whatsoever. And now just 28 points needed for 29 points if Bittersweet are going to be able to win this game. And even though they were able to push in and grab that base, I mean, instantly there's the response from Bittersweet. They are just there every single time the Egode push anywhere, whether it's blue base, whether it's red base, whether it's the pit, there is always members of Bittersweet there to shut them down. But now pit finally close to being taken, but you can just see bodies are falling in as Bittersweet just make sure that that isn't going to be taken. But finally, Egode are able to respond and take pit for their own. And, well, this looks familiar. They're about 60 points down, 70 points down. Are they going to do the same thing that they did against VWS?
Yeah, it does look a hell of a lot familiar, but the mosh pit indeed is still going strong. 1, 2, 3 players have all just dropped down. To be fair, he could probably stay where he is and get the triple cap, but he's waiting for them to fly in, which they are doing now. Anima's there, gives some support to his teammate. Just being a nuisance. Triple cap though. Damn.
Uh-oh.
Damn. It's happening. Is
Can it happen again? Morg's managed to pick up an overshield as well, so now they've got the timing on the overshield. They just need to be very aware of where Bittersweet are spawning. Their communication needs to be absolutely on point now. They really need to play flawlessly, because if they give up control, that will be game over. I said it before when they were doing it against VWS, and they were able to keep control for the rest of the game. So you've just got to make sure you're winning every single individual battle. You're cleaning up kills for your opponent, for your teammates if they do go down. You have to play flawlessly right now.
That's really, really unlucky for Mogu. He went for the Spartan charge, but he clipped the lip of the wall. But you know what? The time's still ticking on. They let triple cap at least go on for a good 10 seconds there, I believe. Could be wrong. Solar in the kill feed. Takes down one. Solar with a double as well. We're going to see Quad calling out on... it's going to be Shady who will fall. Warlord takes him out and all, and this triple cap is looking like it's about to change colour across the board. They've managed to seal pit off, which is absolutely fantastic. But they've got both outside, and now they can just work their way in. They can collapse from the outside 2 bases into the middle. They need to get some kills. If they want to make this work, they've got to start getting kills and staying alive a little bit more. And taking out people like Anima. I mean, look how far this hill's gone, and no one's even shot him. He's just been weak for a god knows how long. Look at this. Why is he still alive? Kill that man.
They need to get Pit. Again, Ego are slowly crawling back into this game because even though Bittersweet are pushing round, they had both bases. Ego are more than happy to send one man over to the base where they're not at just to take that back and then focus all their attention on Pit as Bittersweet swarm in and just send man after man as Solar gets the ground pound onto Quad, picks up the double kill, looking towards Pit. He's actually going to turn around, look for the triple, but there is going to be fleeing, and there is the overshield now. I think he saw it. Yeah, overshield for Bittersweet. This is their moment. They really need to push into Pit here and try and grab this.
Next overshield will be up at 3:33. Honestly, don't think it's going to get seen or be that long. 1-2 kills coming from his teammates. There's the Saw in place, and we got Saw and we got OS all in the hands of Bittersweet. Ground pound down coming out. Doesn't take out Shady, unfortunately. It's quite a lot to ask. Triple kill, excuse me. Tri-cap is in full swing. Now the points will tick up at 2 per second. 5 minutes on the clock. Pit's getting turned around. 1, 2, 3 members dive bombing it. Solar comes in for the stop. And honestly, they just need to count it down. It's going to go up to 96. We'll be moving. Oh, no, they've actually managed to at least claw one back. So the triple cap. No, there we have it. The time's going to tick up. And that, ladies and gentlemen, unless there's any sign of a miracle from anywhere on Earth, that's going to be the win going in the hands of Bittersweet. Warlord. It's going to be Shady, Solar, and... Excuse me, completely forgot the last Anima. Because of that... He's on every single tag every single week. Gentlemen, welcome to the next iteration of Pro League. Fantastic players. 3 of them have already been in Pro League once before. Shady now joins them in that band of many men. 4-0, and honestly, what a fantastic series. Just give us a quick, before we move over to the analyst desk, give us a quick rundown of the scores.
Yeah, so across the board for Bittersweet, a nice amount of kills. 16 for Solar, 13 for Waller, 15 for Shady, and 13 for that man Anima. On the other side, Zoe was doing work as we'd expect him to with 17, but Morg just kind of falling behind, struggling a little bit with 8 kills. That is not enough to find your way into Pro League, but Ego will have another chance to make it to Pro League. They will drop to losers bracket and play the winner of VWS versus Prophecy for their own spot, but congratulations to Bittersweet. We will see you in the next iteration of Pro League.
Which is absolutely fantastic. A team has done it. And you know what? They played out their mind still. There's still everything on the line here. There's still another chance to go there. We have 3 teams. No one's been eliminated just yet. However, the next matchup will see our first Pro League team relieved from duty. As look at this. Jumps up over his head and his teammate just picks him off. That is absolutely fantastic stuff. But it wasn't good enough because they lost the game. But
Also
it was
wasn't a ninja, so I'm disappointed. I got excited.
It was good for style points.
Because I never see the ninjas. It's always Harry that sees the ninjas, so I got excited and I missed it. It wasn't even a ninja.
You need to pay attention more.
I'm sorry, I was too busy switching controls because Harry wasn't here to do that.
Or watch
either.
the American Pro League because there's always a ninja there.
Hey.
That's enough really crap banter from us over here at the desk. We're going to throw it over to our analysts. Paul, gentlemen, down to you.
Yes, indeed. Thank you very much. Well done, Gaskin. I'm with you, man. Don't worry. That means Sims, man. We'll get rid of him. Don't worry about it. Congratulations. Our first team are into the Pro League from our relegation Saturday. And they are Bittersweet. Not bittersweet for them whatsoever. They are. Congratulations to them. For 2017, they will be in the HCS European Pro League. Fantastic results. We've got our men back on the desk, of course. Bravo's here alongside Harry, a.k.a. Lethal. Firstly, Harry, when you looked at the team roster, you thought, okay, they've got quality in this team. We know they can do it. 3 of the 4 have been there. Was there really any doubt? Are we just saying now, we didn't expect them to get there? Because Richard Sims said to me, no, they've got a good chance.
Yeah.
Was it this clear-cut 2-4-0s?
I would never have expected this in the slightest. Like my original prediction was VWS and Bittersweet to have a very close series in the final. Obviously, that completely went out the window. But for them to 4-0 twice, no one would have predicted that. No one would in their life. And they fully deserve it. They made barely any mistakes. They played really well. And I reckon in Season 3, they could potentially do more damage. Maybe get third, fourth, maybe even better. We have to see what happens.
Definitely go to toe-to-toe with pretty much anyone in the league, I think, Andy, it'd be fair to say. Looking back on the game, I guess we could sort of point to the Slayer round where they were 49-all, searching for the final kill. Possibly could have sneaked that one, but in the end, can't really take anything away from them.
Yeah, we talked about before the series them closing out on the objectives, and they not only did that, right? If you look at their objective scores, 181 on Eden was the only close one, 3-0 on Truth, and 159 on Empire. So I mean, they did what they had to do, and they had to close out their objective games. Not only did they do that, but they also stole that Regret Slayer. So right, I mean, they set themselves up for success there. As we had said, Regret Slayer was the one they could lose, but when you're playing in a best of 7, if you're going to do it in 4 games, you don't even see that second Slayer game, right? So for them to be able to close it out in 4 was very big for them. I think they could have done it in any amount of games just based off of the scores alone. But yeah, I think they were focused, and like Harry had said before the series, whichever team wanted it more, then it's very clear that Bittersweet wanted it more.
Definitely. I think if you actually watched the Regret CS, Xur literally controlled Carbine for half that game completely.
If we were watching, well, it was like 4 minutes.
Yeah, literally.
Picked off 7 kills in a row without dying.
It was absolutely ridiculous. But there was a couple of times as well where Bittersweet would actually give Egos top control for absolutely no reason. They let them have it by making very slow, vivid plays. But even then, they still managed to get it in the bag, didn't they? Which I was quite surprised with, considering how they're content on playing. But Game 3 was quite a walkover. Like, you know, they did trade quite a lot. It shouldn't have been a 3-0. It was a lot closer than it looked. And Game 4, I think, after like halfway to 3/4 of the series, Ego, I think, slowly gave up and knew what was basically coming.
Yeah, Stronghold at the end. I mean, it was 78-14 at one point, and you sort of got the feeling that, wow, this is getting away from Ego now. But they pulled it back at 80-55 at one point, and there was a couple of big fights, and you thought, well, if they can win a few more of these, but it was almost, Andy, like they had to be flawless at that point, and they just couldn't afford any mistakes. Yeah,
and against a team like Bittersweet, I think it's much easier said than done, right? I mean, perfect Halo at any level is very difficult, but when you have Bittersweet playing objective as efficiently as they are, they certainly didn't make it easy for their opponents.
But Ego, I don't think they've got anything to worry about. Like, don't get me wrong, it was a 4-0, but you got to remember, 2-3 of those games were pretty close.
Yeah.
You know, they shouldn't be like demoralised by anything like that at all, and they should just have their heads held high. Just remember, one more series to take it.
Yeah, absolutely. They're still in the competition, of course. They get dropped down to the lower bracket final, which we'll see after our next matchup between VWS and Prophecy. I guess, Andy, they might look at both results and say, well, hold on. In a way, we played better against Bittersweet than perhaps Prophecy did. So, having already beaten VWS as well, they're sort of sitting there going, well, we shouldn't be scared of either of these two teams coming through.
Yeah, you have to hope that's what they're saying.
The coach should be saying that.
That needs to be what is being discussed in their comms right now. Not coming off of that loss, right? Just like you said. They need to kind of look at the whole picture here as we're looking at the bracket and realize that they certainly still have a very good chance of advancing here. And I think they're capable of putting on the show as long as they have their heads in the right place and then the games go their way.
Yeah. Completely agree.
The bracket on your screen right now confirms the team that advances to Pro League is Bittersweet. 4-0, 4-0 for them. And Ego now drop down to the lower bracket final where they'll play the winner of VWS or Prophecy. That will be our next matchup. We'll look forward to that very shortly. You two guys will, well, I don't know if you'll both be back. Andy, are you on a break next, or are you doing the game?
I might be casting next, but I do hope I'm back.
Just going with the flow, don't really mind.
No. I get on a plane, I come here, they tell me where to sit down, and I do it.
Well, it's good, because we like you being here, so that's very good. We are headed to a break very shortly. A quick reminder for you out there on the internet, though, there are plenty of things to win for you right now. Head over to esl.pm/Halo. Lots of cool goodies to win, including the A40 from Astra, including the mixer, also some hoodies from ESL, and of course some clothing and lanyards from our friends at Jinx as well. Head over there right now. We are headed to a break. Congratulations to Bittersweet. They are our first team, our first brand new team in the entire HCS league over the 2 seasons to make it into the Pro League through the relegation battles. The relegation battles continue. The final place is still up for grabs. It's VWS versus Prophecy. That one's coming next.